What if I'm afraid to invest in the stock market? Hey, it's Arielle from NerdWallet, and you're watching Awkward Money Questions. This is where we give you smart and comforting answers to your most uncomfortable money questions. I'm here in my living room. This is where I spend all of my time with my family. It's sort of the center of my house and, doubles as my kids' playroom. But wherever you are, sit back, relax, and let's get to today's question, which is, what if I'm afraid to invest in the stock market? I think this is an awkward question because you feel like you should know about the stock market, right? It's a thing that professional people know about, but it is really scary, especially if you watch the news or you've lived through a few market crashes or you've seen your parents live through a few market crashes, and you see how a lot of money can get wiped out in a short amount of time. But what doesn't make the news as much, at least not in as aggressive of a fashion, is that all of that money comes back and then some, as long as you stay invested, right? So the market dips, but it also goes back up, and over time it goes up a lot more than it goes down. And so the scary moments are much more few and far between than the good moments, but the good moments don't get as much press. And so I think if you're scared about investing in the stock market, it's important to keep that in mind, but then it's also important to think about your goals and when you want to reach them, right? And so money that you need within the next 5 years shouldn't be invested in the stock market. Don't even think about it. You should be scared to invest that money because it might not be there when you need it. The stock market is really for long-term goals, and history tells us that about 5 years or longer is long enough to ride out any sort of market volatility. So if the market does dip, you will be invested long enough to see it come back up and then some. And so that's the most important thing. And so investing in the stock market is really for goals like retirement. It's not for goals like next year's wedding, next year's vacation, the car you want to buy next year. All of those sort of short-term goals, you really just want to preserve your principal. I mean, that's the primary thing. You want that money to be there when you need it. And so that money really belongs in a high yield savings account. But if you are investing for retirement, the way that you want to do that is first start with your 401k if you have one, especially because most 401ks offer an employer match. And so what that means is that when you kick in some money, your employer kicks in some money, and that is free money. And often it's 100% of your contributions up to a certain percent of your salary. And so you don't want to walk away from that. Even if you have other drains on your finances, like high interest rate debt, you want to get that 401k match before you turn to those. I would say the one thing that you probably do want to take care of before you start investing is to build an emergency fund. And it can really be $500, $1,000 that you have in the bank, and that's going to help float you through even, some significant emergencies. My plumbing just went out this weekend. It was very expensive. I was very happy to have an emergency fund, and $1,000 pretty much covered it and made it so that I didn't have to dip into investments. I didn't have to put the money on a credit card, that sort of thing. And so I think that will make you a lot more comfortable. And then you can turn to that 401k. And once you're getting your 401k match, or if you don't have a 401k, you can consider investing in an IRA, which is an individual retirement account. You can open that on your own at an online broker. And then you can start thinking about other goals, whether you want to invest for other goals, you want to sort of play around in the market. Maybe you're not scared anymore. This has all made you feel a lot better and you're ready to get a little bold. You can start doing that. If you are still scared and you feel like the 401k, you like that it's very hands-off. I mean, employers sort of pick and choose the investments that are available in those plans, and that makes it a lot easier for you to decide which ones you want to invest in because the selection is pretty small. If you like that approach, then you should probably consider investing through something like a Roboadvisor. These are services, you pay them a small amount of money, it comes right out of your account. So you don't actually get a bill for this every year. It comes out of how much you have to invest. So pretty much anyone who can afford to invest can afford a Roboadvisor. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna sort of build and manage a portfolio for you. So they'll pick the investments based on information that you give them about your goal, how much risk you're willing to take, when that goal, is intended to be achieved. And they will really allow it so that you can be hands off. And the beauty of that is that you don't have to do any of the work. You don't have to really know that much about investing. And it also means that you're not going to regularly be looking at your account and wondering if you can change things because you sort of outsource that. And one of the best things you can do if you're scared of market volatility is to not check your accounts. I mean, I don't look at my accounts when the market is not going well. They're fun to look at when the market is going well, but when it's not going well and I'm like looking at all these scary headlines, I'm not logging into my 401k because that's not gonna do me any favors. All it is going to do is make me wanna make a rash decision, and rash decisions do not go well with the stock market. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of the answers to your awkward money questions. See you soon.